Tonight we are at Date Night at Davio's with Monica Mandell and her husband John. Hi Monica, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
And Monica is the director of the area's Selective Search dating service. And we're here with her famous mosaic artist husband, John. So, Monica, tell me about Selective Search dating.
Selective Search is an offline, upscale matchmaking firm. We are nationwide and been in business since 2000. We represent male clients of all ages, religions, and ethnicities. We work for the men, and the women join our database free of charge.
Ooh, free! We're lucky ones. Tell me what makes Selective Search dating different from the online dating sites that are out there now. What makes you unique?
Well, for starters, we know our male clients in depth, and we choose to work with them, and they choose to work with us. We also meet all of our affiliates in person that we think would be a good match for one of our clients. So this is not like the other dating services where people can fudge the truth a bit with their picture or their age or where they work. We make sure that all the information is correct, and meeting everyone in person, we really make sure they are who they are and that they are representing themselves truthfully. So when we do make a match, we know that all the information is there and correct, and we feel that it would be a good setup.
Now, I have to tell you, from my own experiences, because I'm out there in the dating world now, and I'm not going to mention the sites, but I'm on two. And guys, don't worry, I'm not mixing you up. But as you said, the people that are not truthful with who they are, I've been hearing from a lot of men that the women misrepresent themselves as far as their age and also their weight.
This is why we meet everyone in person. And just like a woman wants to know everything is correct, as does a man. So when we meet her, we verify her age and where she lives by her driver's license. Very simple. We do the same for our male clients. And as far as her appearance and what she looks like and how she presents herself, that we can comment on as well. So we know exactly who we're introducing and what they look like and who they are, professionally and personally.
Okay, Monica, tell me about the success rate.
So the success rate is over 90% by the 6th introduction. In Selective Search, usually the male client will have a contract of up to a year with 10 intros. So it is high, and we like, obviously, to have success very early on. Not to brag, but I am the queen of one and done, and marriages have come about over my one and done magical touch. But since not everyone is getting married for the first time, and some have been married a few times, so success is really defined by the client. Not everyone wants to walk down an aisle and sign a piece of paper. Some are into relationships that are exclusive for the rest of their life. So the client dictates the search and the success. But success is measured by the fact that the client calls us and has met someone incredible and doesn't want to meet anyone else. They're happy.
If I was to come to you, what is the first step?
Well, the first step is you would fill out a profile that is private and confidential on our website. Once you're part of our website and you're an affiliate, we can think about you for a client. So this process can be very fast or maybe slow because the client dictates the search. So therefore, yes, a woman can be a total 10, but he's looking for a different age, location, religion, marital status. As soon as we think a woman fits the profile for a client, we call her and meet her in person, and then hopefully move on with an introduction.
So then it's that first meeting. What kind of tips would you give me if I came to you? What kind of tips? What is the best way to prepare yourself for that first date so you're giving a good impression?
Right. Well, the great thing about Selective Search is the woman knows something about the man and the man knows something about the woman, and they've accepted to meet each other. Now, on a first date, I admit nerves are high and it is a bit tense. The best way to prepare yourself is just to think of some nice questions to ask him. You've already spoken to him on the phone, so you know a little bit about his job, his hobbies. So have open-ended questions and be prepared to talk about yourself to keep the conversation flowing. But do a little bit of research about what he does for a living or where he likes to vacation or his hobbies, so you sound like you're interested in him and you have some knowledge about his likes, and hopefully he'll do the same.
What are the common mistakes that you see people do make on a date, on their first date, or even in this whole dating process?
Right.
Because there are people that are like jumping a little too fast or too anxious. Their expectations run very high. So how would you tell people, what to do just to keep things on the calmer side, so this can be successful?
In the beginning, the first date or second date, my best advice is you don't need to reveal everything. So
keep a little mystery to that.
You don't need to complain about your relationship with your parents or how much you don't like work, etc. Try to keep it light and positive. If you're going through a divorce, I think the biggest mistake people make is trashing their ex. No one really wants to hear negative drama, and no one, male or female, really wants to talk about your past relationships or marriages. So you want to keep it focused on the present and the future, and try to keep the past in the past.
I think that's what I have heard myself personally too on several dates, where it's the man cannot be interested in you if he cannot stop talking about his ex-wife. Right. And so to me that's a turnoff when I meet somebody and they don't stop. It's a constant, or they're going through a divorce and all about their alimony or what's going to happen in court or what they're going to have to pay their ex-wife. It's I don't want to hear that. I want about you and us, and let's see where this can go.
Well, right? Part of what is great about Selective Search is not only do we try to pair people together, but we coach people. So just like you described, if someone is talking too much about a day in court or their ex-wife, we're really fine to give them some constructive criticism. We would never be mean, but plenty of a relationship has been tweaked with just a pinch of an inch of quality, constructive advice. And that is part of what we do, and it's been very successful. So how great would it be that after a date you had someone you could call that you trusted and said, I had a great time, everything was wonderful, I only wish that X. And that someone had the relationship with the man that could say, everything was great, I'm so happy the two of you would like to date again, just let me share a little something that could smooth the road in the future. Right, it works out great.
And I could see just from everything that you've just said, because I know with my own experience on these other dating sites, it's just not easy. You go through so many people and you talk where they don't connect, or it's this constant emailing and not making that connection. But now I can see with what you're telling me about your services that you're helping to make that connection and bring people together that have more in common. Give me an example of one of your success stories.
Well, our success
I know you have many, but
right.
Pick one that really stands out.
One of our greatest success stories was when they met, I got an email from the man, and he said, my heart stopped when she walked into the restaurant. It happened to have been a local place, but that really was an amazing success story, other than the fact that they got married soon after and have children. just the way he described it, I knew then that was going to be something special.
You know, I have to say, just from everything that I have experienced, because it's not easy going through a divorce and then bouncing back into that single lifestyle again and dating again, especially when you're, you know, when your whole life was different. You were the at-home wife, mom, you know, all the above. And now you're back in that dating world. So I think that I really like what I'm hearing, what you're explaining to me about your services, because I want myself personally to meet that person that is the perfect person for me.
Right.
And so I think that you may be able to help me, Monica.
And I think I would, since
Okay.
it's all private, I won't tell, but I would go to selectivesearch.com.
Okay, I'm going to do that, I think, because I've met a lot of people, and I've met some very nice people, but I want that one special person. And I know you have to go about things the right way to find that person
Yes.
in your life, and
Right.
the common interests and the common values that you have to make that successful relationship.
Absolutely. So, and another great thing about our service is because it's offline, you don't have to worry about your picture or any information on the internet. And that is a concern to many people. If you're very high-end and your profile is well-known, that can help people to shy away from an internet dating site. But if you're just pure private, that is another reason to shy away from an internet site. And with Selective Search, it is all private. Yes, it is high-end and boutique, so it can be a little trickier for women in that respect. But at the end, if you do meet a man through us, you know that he's completely commitment-minded, and you know that the women are as well, and you know that everyone has been vetted by us. And that's just something that gives both men and women a sense of security.
And that's the whole goal here. The whole goal here is safety too, because
Right.
on some of these other dating sites, you have to be very careful with safety out
Very.
there. Not just women, men too.
Absolutely.
Because I've heard crazy stories.
Absolutely. Men
And-
have just as many as women.
That's right. That's right. And I have to share one experience because
course.
it's just a little bit comical. I have a few of them, but one of them, I met someone, and he said to me, I have something I want you to see. And he goes into his trunk and pulls out a portrait in a frame, this portrait of his parents, their wedding picture. And I thought, okay, all right, what is this about? Then he comes up, he gets in the car and pulls out a love CD and gives me this CD. And I'm thinking, this is really a little bit strange. This is a little strange. Normally I don't give out my address or anything, very private. And I can see with your services, privacy is utmost concern, and people want that, and you offer
Right.
that. But in this case, this man, he walks me to my door, and after showing me the portrait of his parents, their wedding, and I'm thinking, what is this man? And then the love CD. And because I said goodnight, thank you very much, he wanted a refund on his dinner because I didn't invite him in. So I gave him back the love CD and said goodbye, and that was it. So I've learned my lessons, and I think a lot of people have learned through a lot of different situations out there.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. And you
Well, I
have to be
think on the
selective.
first date, especially, meet the man at the restaurant, the coffee
Right.
house, if
Safe.
you're taking a walk.
Right.
Once you get to know him and you're comfortable and he's comfortable, sure, he should pick you up or know your address. But that first date, I say
Right.
meet. Make sure you don't go too hard on the alcohol so you can drive home, but meet.
Yeah, I know that's another situation where some people, whether male or female, I've heard more of the female, they're so nervous about the date that they've had maybe three drinks before the guy even got there. And it's not good. It's not a good
No.
impression. That is not good.
No, you got to put your best foot forward at all times, ladies and gentlemen.
Jonathan, what do you have to say about all this?
John can give you the best advice on first dates because
You're
he's
married to the
scammed that.
dating guru here in Philadelphia.
I definitely hear all the stories, but my first date with this one I thought was pretty clever. I'm kind of a typical antisocial artist. If I'm holed away in my studio and I'm doing my thing, I had this flash of brilliance. There's in Philadelphia Victor Cafe, which is a lovely Italian restaurant in South Philly, 13th and Dickinson, if I'm right. And they have wait staff that double as opera singers. So you're talking to your date and everything's going great. And then they ring a bell and one of the wait servers sings an aria. So for me, I knew about this. This is the perfect thing because you have 5-6 minutes where you can charge up your conversational batteries while the wait server is singing their song. So after they conclude their song, you can come back in and have all the witty banter that you've been putting together in your brain for the last 5-6 minutes.
So now you're both coming up. You're coming up to your 25th anniversary.
Yeah, my child bride.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yes, I tell them you have to pat yourself on the back every year, and at the biggies you must celebrate because it is successful.
So now my idea was to come to Davio's because this is a beautiful atmosphere to be on a date with either your spouse or to come on a date with someone who is special in your life.
Right.
And what do you think of the atmosphere here for a date?
Davio's is a favorite. I even told them I wanted to come here for my 25th anniversary. We've been here for other anniversaries. What makes Davio's special is the view. It's on the second floor, so if you have a table by the window, all the views are nice. The service is perfection, and it's not overly loud. Many times if you go to a restaurant and you can't hear yourself think, you don't want to be screaming, you don't want it too quiet, but you certainly don't want to compete with all the voices around you or with poor acoustics. And what makes Davio's great is that you can hear the other person, but in an elegant, sophisticated environment.
And I think also at Davio's, the food is superb.
Yes.
And the drinks are amazing.
Beyond.
And especially their signature drinks are just incredible. And the bar area is very nice.
The bar area is a great
beautiful.
place to stop by with someone and have a drink.
Right.
And the presentation is amazing, the staff, everything is great. I would say for a special occasion, a special date, or a date to impress, this is what I always recommend as Davio's in the city, always.
And then after you meet and you have a wonderful dinner or appetizers and a drink, you could take a stroll around Rittenhouse Park or in the city, and it just makes for a really nice evening.
Yeah, and the location is great. Stroll a little, meet early, get in a little shopping, then have a 7:30
Yeah, we can add the
reservation.
shopping to the date too.
So, if you really want to impress her.
Yeah, if you really want to impress her, take her shopping. So now you're both coming up. You're coming up to your 25th anniversary.
Yeah, my child bride.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yes, I tell them you have to pat yourself on the back every year, and at the biggies you must celebrate because it is successful.
And you know, it's wonderful to meet. I know that my parents have had 55 years together.
Wow.
My grandparents on my father's side, 65 years marriage. So I'm still hopeful that one day Mr. Right will become floating, come up. And I think the only way to do it is to go through selective search dating because I've tried every other angle. I know I'm a good person and I have a good heart and I have a lot to give. And I need to find that special person just for me.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Monica, so much. And thank you, John.
Pleasure.
And this is what it's all about, and we can do it right through selective search dating.
We
love you,
Heart
Heart
of
of Philly. Thank you.